You women. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one basically is You Women. Now just bear with me. Okay, here we go. Is You Women. All right. So I won't be able to see the comment board because the computer was turned off and I don't have the password for the computer. So um, I'm not sure what's going on the comment board. I mean, I'm gonna have to keep clicking over here, which I don't like doing. But nevertheless, I've been meditating on this for a few days, maybe to a week, dealing with these women out here and the over much liberty that they have received from Esau. And that is a true way to destroy a woman and to destroy a nation. Just bear with me. I'm going to grab this one precept and then we can start with this precept. Um, I just want to get it because I want to read this quote. And as I was setting everything up for the lesson, that thought came into my mind, and I said, let me get that quote because that was a very good quote from the book of Conan the Barbarian. Because pretty much when you think about it, the most vulnerable people out there in the time of chaos, anarchy, war are women, children, and the elderly. Like these women that got their heads stuck in the clouds, that are proud as hell because men, Esau and men in general have given them too much power by elevating them, praising them and giving them compliments. But when any mishap happens, any disaster, any explosion, any gunshots, anything of that nature happens, for the most part, these women get to screaming. They get to looking around for somebody to grab onto, somebody to protect them. Here it is. They'll get themselves in a situation by running their goddamn mouth. But then when somebody goes upside their head, they're looking to other men to help them because of the shit that they did. And then some simps will help them. And guess what? They get taken out. Meanwhile, she escapes the judgment because this dickhead jumped in the way. But the time is coming when there's going to be no wall of defense for these women. The Lord is going to strip that wall bare because you want to be proud, you want to be sluts, you want to be hoes, you want to be, carpet munchers, you want to be lesbos and all that. And hey, the Lord got something for you. You can't control your urges, you can't control, your whoredoms, you can't control your desires, you can't control your lasciviousness. Well, guess what? The Lord got the ultimate control for you. He's gonna take down these walls of defense that Esau has built for you, so that you can, you know, continue on in these whorish ways of yours. So in the movie Conan, right, Conan the Barbarian, excellent movie back in 1982. If you haven't seen it, you're a young man or young woman, mainly the young brothers. If you haven't seen it, I'd suggest you go watch it. It's a very good movie. It should be on Netflix, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. You might find it on YouTube for free. But anyways, there was a scene where this general was asking a question, right? And he asked his son, he asked other people. Nobody, they gave just the wrong answers. So he asked Conan, he said, Conan, what is best in life? And this is what Conan answered: to crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. You see? And that's pretty much what came to mind, the lamentation of their women. Why? Because women, for the most part, when it comes down to war, comes down to chaos and calamity, they are not ready for that. They are not prepared for that because they are not built that way. But these devils have given them the mindset that women are equal to men. They should get the same pay as men. They should get the same rights as men when they don't, you know, have the same capacities that men have. They don't possess the same strength that men do. They don't possess the skills that men do. You know, they don't deserve that. But they've been fooled to think that men and women are equal. Men and women are not equal. That's the reason why the Most High created male and female from the beginning. And women need to be ruled. Let me bring out another precept before I go to this main one. Genesis chapter 3 and verse, I believe, starts at 16, or is it 16? Yep. Genesis 3:16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. At one time when women had babies, the baby will just, you'll just feel the pressure, like if you was using the bathroom to take a dump, and the baby will just come out. You know, after this time period here, or after this happened, the Lord put the curse of having birth pains for women. You know, it says, and thy desire shall be what? To thy husband. But in this society, it's flipped the other way around. It's spiritually flipped because these devils that made you believe that that is the way. Let's go real quick to First Corinthians chapter 11. See, if you abide by the guideline, you know, you will not lose. You know, we're gonna go off, of course. We're not perfect. But as long as we maintain to the best of our ability what the guideline says, we're gonna be all right. First Corinthians 11 and 9. It says, I started 8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created, excuse me, Salaka. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. See? So pretty much, you know, the whole energy of this society is that a man has to lower his manly standards to crouch down beneath this woman so that she can give him what he wants. And that's the sentiment today, you know, from these devils that they gave that mindset to these women, and these women bought it. You know, they bought that, you know, but that's okay. So, like, for 1 minute. All right, so just bear with me 1 second. I want to pull this up. The Elder D-Mash sent me the password, so just bear with me. You know, we just got back from Chicago yesterday, so you know, still kind of out of it. So, you know, the Elder's trying to just, you know, trying to you know, we're just trying to reset, so to speak. Beautiful, beautiful time out there with those brothers. It was a hell of an experience, you know, hell of an experience, and I'm just grateful to Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah that I was able to partake in it. For some reason, this ain't working, so just bear with me 1 second. Okay, that's uppercase, all right. Just bear with me. One more time. And here we go. Now I could keep, track of what's going on, baby. All right. All right. So the men in this society are forced to lower their standards as a man just to please these hoes so that they can get some box. Pretty much that's what it is. That's why a man will lower his standards for a woman in the most cases because he's trying to get between the legs. And in this society it's been made to seem like the greatest prize of all. And she done gave that funky box to everybody. Now, another thing, like I said, I've been meditating on this lesson, but I actually watched the priest, the young elder, Amawangabar, did a lesson last night on these women, that all of these women are going to pretty much bow down. I forget the exact title of it, but they were all going to submit. And then this morning, I watched Elder Apostle Gabar, do a reaction to his video or a response to his video, and it was actually a video that he did like 2 years ago. And you would, when I heard it, I thought it was, if he would have just put it up regular, I would have thought it was something he just did, because it's that good. Both of those videos. I didn't watch all of Elder or the priest Amawanga Bar's video, but at the end of the day, these are good videos because this is prepping the world for what's coming. When all hell breaks loose, these women are not going to be ready. They're not going to be ready. So let me get this back in Genesis real quick. And thy desire shall be to thy husband, not the other way around. And he shall what? Rule over thee. So the man has the rulership power. He has the authority. That's why a woman, when she is a child, she's under the authority of her father. She bears her father's last name. When she marries a man, she loses her father's last name and takes on the man's last name. She doesn't have her own last name. Now, in this society, of course, because of these devils and these feminist skanks, you have women that'll keep their last name, with the last name of their husband. But guess what? That's still not, it's their last name, right? But it's not theirs because they got that from their father. They got it from another man. So you never have your own last name because you come from your father. And the man is the authority over the woman. But in this society, that's frowned upon. In this society, to be a woman, to be womanly, to do womanly duties is frowned upon. You looked at it, you're made to, you're reproached and shamed for doing womanly things. But that's going to stop. Because when all hell breaks loose, guess what? These women are going to go back to remembrance of who they once were. And I'm not talking about being a slut. I'm talking about being a woman. That word woman is going to ring back out. The word woman is going to take traction once again on the earth. Just being, a woman and what it means to be a woman is going to be back in style, baby. Because when all hell breaks loose, that's when the pride of these women are going to be crushed, just like Arnold's enemies. And I wanted to make one more point on this. I love this saying because it says to crush your, and this quote, to crush your enemies, see them driven before you. Now remember, when King David, the Lord calls him to number Israel, right? He was given 3 choices. One, to be, I think it was 3 years of famine, if I'm not mistaken. 2 was to be in, flee from his enemy for 3 months. And the other one was to let the Lord have his way with Israel at that time, or something along those lines. And he chose the third one. Why? Because he did not want to be fleeing from his enemies for no 3 months, because that was shameful. When you went to battle, the armies that went to battle, the kingdoms that went to battle, always wanted to win because it was a shame to lose. And that's how great men were back then. That's how much manhood stood out back then. Today that spirit is frowned upon. They try to make you ashamed because you're a manly man. You shouldn't talk like that. You should find a way so now you got to curb your ways and your words, because this society deems a manly man a threat. So you have to lower your standards in order to assimilate in society, which is total bullshit. But it's going to change. So let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 and verse 10. If thy daughter be shameless, and what does the scripture say about a shameless woman? She shall be counted as a what? A dog. What is a dog? A bitch, a female dog. That's right. As the priest said, they call it toxic masculinity. That's right. Because to be a man's man in this society is considered a threat, because these devils want a race of people that are uncertain of their sexuality. That's why they're trying to erase male and female, man and woman, into pronouns and things, And Shalom, Yahweh Shah Thumb. If any apostles watching, any bishops, any of you elders, any of you camp leaders, you brothers, you sincere men, a hearty salute to you, and to you sincere sisters also. So it says, if thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly. Straitly is in a position of difficulty. In other words, don't give her any leeway. When women are young in their father's house, they're supposed to have chores. You're supposed to be on their neck. You're supposed to be on their neck. And it's true. I mean, that's part of the curse. You had some, like the sister said, some had no fathers in their home. Yes, and that's part of the curse. But now, in this time, with these lessons, women are learning to be women. So it behooves you to put off that old mindset, that old woman, and put on the new woman, which is renewed in the spirit. Because now you're learning. Now, the men that are teaching are really like the fathers that some of these men and women didn't have, showing you the right way to walk. You've been given the liberty in this society, but liberty corrupts women. It corrupts men also. Too much liberty corrupts women absolutely. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, meaning a position of difficulty. Constantly ride her ass. And I don't mean in that way. I mean like, as far as, making sure that you're on top of her. Pause. But just pretty much, giving her the instructions that she needs so that she may be a woman. All right. It says, lest she abuse herself through what? Overmuch liberty. And that's what these devils have given these women. That's why you'll hear other Apostle Tahar speak about it from time to time. You'll see a wolf pack of young girls, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, walking around, being sluts and hoes. I mean, young chicks. Why? Because they have no guidance at the home. They've been given overmuch liberty, and through television, through entertainment and all these other avenues, social media avenues, they've been, for lack of better words, inspired to do these things, to be this way. It says, watch over an impudent eye. See? So a woman that doesn't have any discretion, got to watch over her. Let's go real quick. Impudent meaning right there, not showing due respect for another person, impertinent. So pretty much what is that? They're insubordinate because they don't want to be in subjection to their father or to their husband. And that was pushed by beginning with the international banking families of Amalek, these banking families, which if when you watch that interview that Aaron Russo had with when Alex, the Skull and Bones, um, actually interviewed him, he was breaking down what Nick Rockefeller, who was a Rockefeller, one of the top, banking families out there, was telling them what their plans were for the future for these women. And one of the things was what? Women's lib, which women's lib was designed to remove the both parents out of the house. Therefore, now, since they're both working, the children are left to the government to raise education wise. What the hell you think they're going to teach them? They're going to teach them whatever they want and indoctrinate them in whatever way that they want to build them up for the future societies. Meanwhile, the man and the woman are at the job, and the woman might land a job that makes more money than the man, making him feel inferior. And then she'll let him know that every time she can, if she's not a good woman, she'll let him know every time that she can, or she gets mad, I make more money than you. I don't need you, and that starts a ripple effect of problems. See? And then they got the so-called equal rights, which now they think they're equal. But now with men that identify as women that are in these women's sports, they're these women are deciding not to fight. Wait a minute, I thought you were equal. Why don't you show in the ring that you're equal? Like Elder Malcolm was speaking this past Saturday at the camp, and he was saying, they show these women on the screen kicking men's ass. I'm talking about like this bitch could weigh no more than 120, 130, maybe at the most 140 pounds soaking wet. Here it is, you got this 350-pound muscular dude that's in shape, a warrior, a trained assassin. And all of a sudden she hits him a certain way, and then she turns around and with a rope, she just chokes him out and kills him. But in real life, that wouldn't happen. In real life, a dude that's even smaller than her would more than likely take her out. Because women are not built like men. And that's what these bonehead women out here don't get. Equal rights and equal lefts. That's right. Don't forget, you got those some uppercuts and some hooks in there too, brother. That's what they don't get. They don't get that you are not equal to a man. But guess what? Every once in a while, these men remember that they're men and act upon it and show you when they give you those equal lefts for your equal rights. Sometimes you get hit with uppercuts, hooks, and whatever. Come on, man. Don't, huh? What are you talking about, man? Better not be coming with no foolishness, because you'll get the roach spray in with the quickness. So it says, watch over an impudent eye, meaning a woman that's undisciplined, that's not subordinate, and marvel not if she trespass against thee. See? So if she trespasses against you, why are you going to be surprised about that? You gave her the ability to be loose like that. You gave her too much liberty. You didn't bow her head down and make sure that she was doing her chores. You weren't, she wasn't on that strict curriculum of how to be a woman. So guess what? That falls on you. So if she trespasses against you, don't be surprised. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he hath found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. That's why these women are laying down with every Tom, Dick, and Harry and Harriet out there. Because they have no morals, they have no scruples, they have no guidance. They are not a mind that is well instructed. You know, like that scripture. Yep, Ecclesiastes 25:25. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. See? Why? Because she's gonna piss you off. She's gonna do something shameful, and she's either gonna piss her father off or her husband off. By every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver, which is what? Her vagina, against every arrow. She's gonna lay down with every Tom, Dick, Harry, and Harriet out there. See? Ecclesiastes 26:26. A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all, but she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all. Right. And that was a thing back then. A woman, you know, if she was, you know, one of those lewd women or impudent women, she was outcasted. You know, that was a shame. Why do you think these women, there'll be such a hole in one state or in one city that they'll move to a whole different state because they have that stigma on them of being a slut, you know, them project hoes. So they'll go to a whole nother different state where nobody knows them to try to start over again. And it won't take long before they start, oh, this bitch is a hoe. You know? Because these women are not instructed properly. It says the grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones. See, she's discreet. You know, she's not telling her business out in the street like a lot of these women do. And then these women tell their business out in the street, and then they get mad when people talk about her and talk about, you know, her and her husband. Well, bitch, you put the gossip out there. That's on you. So it says 1 Timothy 5:11, but the younger widows refuse, which also applies to these young women. These were the young widows, for when they have begun to wax wanton, because when a woman is young, her ovaries and her, you know, what you call is still jumping, her hormones. So she's going to get that itch against Yahushua. They will marry, right? You will have sex, having damnation because they have cast off their first faith, right? Because women, when they became the age of 60 and they were widows, they didn't have the desire of these younger women to have sex all the time. So they would devote their life to the Lord by washing the feet of the saints, lodging the saints, because you had a lot of widows back then that if you had men of the Lord coming from, you know, different, you know, areas, and they needed a place, a night, you know, a day or two to spend, you know, just to lodge and refresh themselves and eat and all that. These women were there, and they would open up their homes to them because they were there by themselves pretty much. But them wicked Pharisees and Sadducees would fucking run that to the ground, them pieces of shit, you know? And withal, they learned to be what? Idle. What is idle? Meaning stagnant, still, not moving. And you see a lot of these women, like Elder Apostle Gabar, his old video he did, you know, the woman, she's been home all goddamn day, not doing shit. Talking about I'm tired, you know? And you hear it all the time. I'm so tired. Bitch, you ain't do shit. You've been home all day, laying up in the bed all day, watching TV or whatever the case is. Why don't you get your ass up and go for a walk or something? You know? Wandering about from house to house. And you see that. They're going from this woman's house to that woman's house, you know? And what do they do in those houses? Gossip, talk shit about their man, talk shit about their family, whatever. Talk shit about their other friend across town. And then when she's at the other friend's house, she'll talk shit about that friend that she was talking shit to her about. These women are out of fucking order. It says, and not only idle, so not only are they not doing nothing and wandering about from house to house, but tattlers also and busybodies. See? Gossipers. Let's go to the word tattlers. The word there is fluados, of persons uttering or doing silly things, garrulous, babbling, of things foolish, trifling, vain. Yeah, just running your goddamn mouth. You know, 1,000,000 miles an hour. Busybodies. Periergos. Busy about trifles and neglectful of important matters. And what are the important matters? Cooking for your husband, making sure that the babies are taken care of, you know, making sure that you're sewing, making garments. Because if these women knew how to sew and to make garments, men wouldn't have to go spend money, on at the stores. And that's what a virtuous woman would do. Those of you women, read Proverbs 31 from the 10th verse all the way to the end, and that gives you the duties of a virtuous woman and things that she would do. Right? Busybodies, a meddling or prying person, in an interfering meddler, interfere, mischief, maker, troublemaker, mischief maker, troublemaker, gossip, scandal, monger. Right? And that's what they're all about. Especially busy about other folks' affairs. Oh, and the bitch, she ain't got no man. She done had 9 exes in 7 months. But then she has all the answers for you on how to get your life together. She got all the advice in the world, to tell you how, how to be with your man and your children and all this. And before you know it, the bitch that takes her advice, she end up losing her man. This is a vicious cycle, man. You women are fucking demons, man. But the Lord's going to humble your ass. He's going to humble you hoes out here very soon. Wait till all hell breaks loose. Right now as we speak, I was watching Elder Pastor's video, and then I ended up running into Willie D's video that he did on these Hell's Angels, supposedly, allegedly going down to Colorado to confront these El Salvadorian gangs, I believe they are, to take back what they've taken so far. Now, we don't know if that's true or not. It's probably just, stirring up bullshit controversy or whatever, but we'll see. But nevertheless, society will break down. Society will collapse. Society will, implode in itself. And the main ones that are going to be affected by it are women, children, the elderly, these weak simp-ass men, these metrosexuals, these moles, these alphabet people. Because when all hell breaks loose, they're going to be in a world of trouble, especially these women. A busybody, of things impertinent and superfluous, of magic arts. So I want to get this other precept that came to mind. Let me see if I can remember what that was. Beautiful. Barakatah Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Let me just get this or hold this on deck, but I'm gonna come back to that. But let me finish out this 1 Timothy. So it says, and with all they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers also, and busybodies, speaking things which they are not. And that's why that you don't want to, follow the instructions. You don't want to humble yourself. You want to be the slut and the hoe and everything that you want to be. That's okay. The Lord got something for you. I will therefore that the younger women marry, not sleep around, not weigh your options. You're still young. This is the wisdom of these old hoes. You're still young, and you should sleep around before you settle down and all this stuff. Well, what you're doing is you're telling her pretty much to cheapen her value. Because it gets to the point where these women have so many men that they don't even that desire doesn't even they don't even have no feeling down there. They've been with so many goddamn men, and the only time they get that urge is when there's some new individual, new dude, or some wicked shit that they into. It says, guide the house. Guide the house. When you go into that house is the house of horrors. You got fucking clothes. From the moment you open up the front door, shit is everywhere. You can't even see the floor. Did the bitch got a carpet? Does she got linoleum? Is it hardwood floors? You can't see the goddamn floor. And you got goddamn dishes piled to the sky, mold growing on them, you know. And instead of cleaning the shit, she might go out and buy other stuff so she can cook in, or if she does cook. It's horrible, man. Yep, house destroyers. So they don't guide the house, they destroy the house. That's right. Give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. And they do that all the time. For some are already turned aside after Satan, you know? And this is talking about women in the faith. See? So you got this, shalom, brother. Oh, that's beautiful, edifying video. And then she's the biggest slut on the planet. She's doing all kind of horrible shit because she's a horrible person. All right, so back to Ecclesiasticus. Let me see. Okay, we can skip over this one. Ezekiel 9 and 4. Oops. Let's go here. Ezekiel 9 and 4. And Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said unto him, go to the midst of the city, to the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And this is the elect. They will cry and sigh. And the reason why is because they have that thawah, which is the mark, which is the Hebrew way of saying to be exempt from judgment. It says, and to the others he said, in mine hearing. So the Lord said, these men up here, seal them with the exemption from judgment. But the rest of them, in my hearing, in my ears, because I want to hear this, go ye after him through the city and smite. This is the angel. The Lord sent the angel to do this. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Why? Because you're going to have to do this to men. You're going to have to do this to women. And you're going to have to do this to children, babies, so on and so forth. Right? Slay utterly old and young. Because you got old demons and young demons. Both maids, these are young women that are virgins, that are demons, and little children, and little demonic monsters, and women. See? Because these women are totally out of order. But the Lord's going to put them back in that order, though. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. That's why it says that the judgment of the Lord is going to first begin at his own house. Those that know that they're Israelites. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. All right, so from the oldest on down. Now, Ezekiel 2 and 9 says, and when I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without. That's the Bible. And there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. And that's what's coming. Lamentations, mourning, and woe. And when all hell breaks loose during the time of Jacob's trouble, you women are going to be in for a rude awakening. You're going to get a wake-up call. And that wake-up call, when it comes, is not going to be good for you. Because you were misled into the wrong thought pattern of thinking what you thought a woman should be. And there's going to be a lot of lamentation, a lot of mourning, a lot of destruction, a lot of fear. Because you don't want to fear the Lord, you don't want to give heed to his words, you don't want to bridle your life, you don't want to curb your ways. Well, guess what? The Lord got the curb for you. He's gonna curb you, all right. And it's gonna get really bad for you. So let's go from that Isaiah 32 and 8. I'm sorry, Isaiah 3 and 8. For Jerusalem is ruined. Now, this happened, back then, during the time when the Babylonian Empire destroyed Jake back then. But this also applies till today. Because today, this same stuff that's going on is going to go down here also. For Jerusalem is ruined, and it's going to be ruined again. America, New York, we say, is spiritually Jerusalem. That's where the truth came out of. And Judah is fallen, but anywhere Israel is, that represents Jerusalem. Right? And Judah is what? The head tribe, and they're fallen. You look at these Judahites out here, they're like in the worst condition. The Pookies and the Ray Rays are mostly what? Judah. No, unless you got the Pacos and the Jose's, you know. It says because and those are the ones that follow behind Judah. Because their tongue and their doings are against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. See? And then you try to give them the right way, try to show them, but they're going to tell you, nope, you're wrong. Okay. Wigs and BBLs splattered all over the streets. Nasty work. That shit is horrible, man. I cringe every time I see one of them things in the street. You know? I don't even want to go near it. I don't want to step on it. You know, one day I was throwing the garbage out, you know, back when I was back home, and I saw one. I was like, I felt it looked like I saw a monster. So I'm backing off, you know, of it, so I could throw the garbage, you know, in the garbage can, you know, the garbage can, you know, the big ones. I can't think of the name right now. And as I'm backing up to put the thing in the garbage, something rubs on my arm, and it was another one just hanging off of the goddamn shit, you know. And that shit just like rubbed me like this, you know. And I just like I almost lost it, man. It was terrible, man. And things look like they look like some. They should do a movie about those creatures, you know. Had them shits attack people. Salakia. It says to provoke the eyes of his glory, yeah. And that was bad. It was bad, man. I cringe every time I see that, or I even think about that. That shit rubbed on me. I was like, oh shit, it was just disgusting. It was disgusting. It says to provoke the eyes of his glory, right? And when you do the wrong thing, that provokes the Most High, because we are his children. The show of their countenance does witness against them, and they declare this sin as Sodom. You got these moles out here, but also Jake in general. The adulterers, you know, and this you know, this horror spirit that's out here, they to them it's cool. You know, they glamorize that shit. Meanwhile, these women that are glamorizing that shit, they're married. They got men. They got children. You know? But they're glamorizing and pushing what? These women are here to be sluts, lay down with all kind of men, you know, to have all type of diseases like that. These women in these songs, you know, they speak about having all these diseases, and these stupid bitches glorifying that. It's just like these stupid fucks, you know, these rappers, they glorify going to jail, and these stupid dickheads out here, they actually go to jail. Meanwhile, for the most part, those gangsters that's those rappers that's glorifying that, they're not in jail. But your stupid ass bought that shit. You go get high and do some stupid shit, then all of a sudden you're locked up and they won't let you out. Shit. It says they hide it not, right? And you don't hide it. Instead of being sorrowful for it, you know, being ashamed of it, you actually glorifying that shit. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves, because eventually you're going to reap of the fruits of your own doing. That's why Jacob's trouble is coming. And we're like in the beginning stages, as Elder Pastor said. And we've been saying that we're kind of in the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble, even though it hasn't broke yet, but we like right there. You know, it's like flirtingly close. It says, say ye to the righteous that it shall be well with him. Right. Don't worry about it. Brothers out there, sisters out there that's trying to do the best that you can. Yeah, we catching hell. God damn it. We all catching hell. But eventually, you're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. It says, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. The payment or the wall of protection. No, the force field. is going to come when all hell breaks loose. Right now, we're catching it right along with these people out here. But when the time comes, the Lord is going to make that separation. He's going to build that wall of separation between the elect and the rest. And the elect are going to be protected. So all the work that you're doing now is piling up for the time when we all be able to withdraw from that spiritual bank account. But the guys that ain't doing shit, that are supposed to be doing shit, and the women that ain't doing shit, that are supposed to be doing shit, when that time comes, your account's going to be empty. Remember, it says, he that soweth sparingly shall reap sparingly. Think about it. It says, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him. So you be the wicked. You be as wicked as you want. Yeah, okay, you don't follow the Bible? Cool. You'll do whatever you want. You just can't help it. But being an adulterer, an adulteress, have at it. But there's going to come a time when you're going to pay. For the reward of his hands shall be given him. See? So you're going to eventually pay for it. As for my people, children are their oppressors. That's why you have these little monsters that are so fucking disrespectful. You want to snap their neck. You want to just snap their neck if it was possible. They're fucking disrespectful to the T. And those little monsters ain't going to make it. They're in that, those are the little monsters that came against Elisha. And you see what happened to them. It says, and women rule over them. See? Women rule over them. So these women are in the rulership position. The men is supposed to be in the rulership position. No, James Brown had it wrong. He said this is a man's world. No, this is a woman's world. Because it's been turned upside down. O my people, they which lead thee, cause thee to err or to commit error, because the leaders of the people who are supposed to be teaching you the right way are not teaching you the right way. They're teaching you the wrong way. That goes into these pastors in the churches and to some of these other Israelite leaders out here that are leading Jake astray and not telling them the truth of everything. And destroy the way of thy paths. And that's going to cause total annihilation and total destruction. So you know what? I'm going to pause this right here. I'm going to end it. And Lord's will, I'm going to do a part 2 to this. Because I got to take care of something. But as soon as I finish, Lord's will, I'm going to jump right back on. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. Till the next time I say, Shalom.